The rattling wagon. Wheels screamed against the canyon floor, dry axles coughing dust with every lurch. The old wagon bucked over a rocky rut, its cracked boards groaning under weight and speed. Inside, a girl kicked and screamed, fists bound tight with frayed rope, her mouth gagged with a sun-bleached cloth. She thrashed like something wild, her boot heels striking the plank walls again and again. A crow overhead circled once, then vanished into the cliffs. Red Gus Marrow rode 20 yards ahead, rein slack in one hand, his coat flapping in the hot wind. He didn't look back. The bastard never did. His rifle bounced on the saddle horn, coated in trail dust. The black gelding beneath him moved smooth and fast, trained for flight more than fight. Behind him, the wagon rattled harder. From the canyon ridge, a lone mule stood still beneath a spindly pinyon tree. Its rider didn't move, wide-brimmed hat down low. A black dress faded into the stone shadows. The wind curled around her like smoke, tugging gently at her veil. Eleanor Raye watched, her eyes, pale as a winter creek, fixed on the wagon below. Her fingers rested against the side of the saddlebag. No shaking, no hesitation. She blinked once. Slow, measured. Down below, the girl screamed louder, muffled, desperate. Gus barked something cruel. The wagon didn't slow. The mule snorted. Eleanor shifted her weight. One hand reached inside the bag and pulled out a revolver, its ivory grip chipped and stained. She opened the chamber, checked each round. 5. Enough. The sun bled orange across the canyon walls. Long shadows stretched like claws across the trail. The air shimmered with heat and silence. The wagon creaked, veered slightly, then slammed over a jagged rock. The girl's cry turned into a thud. The canvas tarp covering the back slipped just enough for Eleanor to see her. Blonde hair tangled, eyes swollen, wrists red and raw. Eleanor let out a breath through her nose. Her thumb traced the worn engraving on the gun's barrel. She pulled the mule's reins gently. It turned without protest, descending the trail, slow and steady, the hooves silent against the dust. She didn't rush. Red Gus never looked back. That was his mistake. Above them, the wind picked up. The pinyon tree rattled dry bones. Far off, thunder growled behind the mountains. Maybe a storm, maybe something else. Eleanor kept riding. Eyes forward. Grip tight. Not again. The stranger in black. The saloon doors flapped once, slow and dry. Every chair leg scraped at once. A man spilled his drink, try not to look. Eleanor Raye stepped inside without a word, her black dress dragging dust behind her like a shadow come to life. The barkeep froze mid-polish. One of the card players whispered, "Ain't seen her in 10 years." She moved past them all, boots quiet on warped floorboards. The revolver at her hip wasn't hidden. The way she wore it, it didn't need to be. She stopped at the counter. "Bullets," she said, voice low, cracked from silence, not weakness. The barkeep nodded, set a small box on the bar. .36 caliber. Only one's left. His hand shook when she tossed 2 silver coins down. From a far table, a rail-thin man leaned back in his chair. "Where you headed, miss?" Her eyes met his. Flat, cold. "Dead Man's Arch," she said. The man swallowed. His chair thudded back onto all fours. Outside, wind kicked sand against the shutters. The door slammed shut behind her. The trail narrowed, near Coyote Hollow. Red Gus had set up camp early. The wagon pulled into a crook between 2 boulders. Fire cracked low. The girl lay still in the back, her face turned to the canvas wall, dirt streaked with tears. 2 other men sat near the flames, one whittling a piece of wood into nothing, the other smoking and staring at the sky. Gus polished his rifle slow, his legs stretched out, boot off, sock red with dry blood. "Think she's worth something?" the smoker asked. Gus grunted. "Not my first cargo run." He spit. "She'll fetch what she fetches." A dry twig snapped in the dark. The men stood. Silence. Another snap, this time behind the rocks. Gus grabbed his rifle. The whittler drew a knife. A figure stepped into the firelight. All black. Hat low. Dress dragging dirt. Eleanor Raye. None of the men spoke. "Not yet. Let the girl go," she said. The smoker laughed. "Or what? You'll pray us to death." The revolver barked once. He dropped with a hole in his chest, cigarette still burning between twitching fingers. The whittler rushed her. She stepped aside, fast like she'd done it before. Knife missed. Her elbow caught his throat. He fell gasping, drowning in dirt. Gus stood last, gun aimed but hands shaking. "I know you," he muttered. She raised her weapon. "Angel of Antietam," he whispered. "You're real." She didn't blink. The fire cracked. The girl in the wagon lifted her head. Eleanor said again, quieter this time, "Let her go." And for the first time in years, Red Gus Marrow obeyed. "You're safe now." The wagon jolted as Gus grabbed the reins with one hand and dragged the girl upright with the other, holding her in front like a shield. His rifle trembled in his grip, barrel pressed to the girl's head. "Back off," he roared, voice fraying at the edges. "I'll drop her right here." Eleanor didn't move. Her revolver never wavered. The fire snapped behind her. The canyon wind howled through broken stone. The girl whimpered. "I said back OFF." Eleanor stepped forward. One pace, then another. Gus flinched. "I know what you are, Ray. I heard the stories. You stitched up rebels on the field, then buried them when they blinked too slow." She kept walking. "You spare me once," he shouted. "Antietam. I was just a kid, torn up crying. You spared me then." The girl's chest hitched with sobs. Her eyes locked on Eleanor. Another step. "I ain't asking for forgiveness," Gus said, voice cracking now. I got no one left. No one." Eleanor stopped 5 feet away. "I had a daughter," she said. "Come." Barely a whisper. Gus's lip quivered. "Please." Eleanor raised the revolver. The girl twisted suddenly, elbowing Gus in the gut. The rifle fired wide. The sound cracked through the canyon like thunder. Eleanor didn't flinch. She fired once. Gus staggered. She fired again. He fell backward, coughing blood, fingers twitching in the dirt. The girl dropped to her knees, sobbing. Smoke curled from Eleanor's revolver as she stepped to the wagon, holstered the weapon, and knelt beside the girl. "You hurt?" she asked. The girl shook her head. Eleanor pulled her close, fingers gently untying the ropes. The girl leaned in, clutching her, breath shallow and shaking. After a moment, Eleanor stood. She walked to the front of the wagon, unhitched the mare, and led it forward. She pressed the reins into the girl's hands. "You ride north," she said. "River's a half-day out. Folks there'll feed you." The girl didn't move, just stared. Eleanor gave her a nod, voice soft but firm. "You're safe now." The girl's lip trembled. Her hand tightened on the reins. Eleanor turned away, back toward the canyon shadows. The wind tugged at her veil as she disappeared down the trail without a word. Behind her, the girl sat tall in the saddle and watched until the black figure vanished into the dust. The widow's reckoning. Red Gus crawled through the dirt, dragging his bleeding leg behind him. Blood smeared the canyon floor in streaks. He reached for his fallen rifle. Too far. His fingers scraped stone. Behind him, boots crunched gravel. "Slow. Inevitable. You don't have to," he rasped. "Please." Eleanor Raye stopped 10 paces away, revolver steady in her hand. Her black dress fluttered in the rising wind. The morning light lit the canyon walls gold, but her shadow fell long and cold across him. "You remember me," Gus said, forcing a smile through pain. "I was just a boy. You saved me." Eleanor didn't blink. "I never forgot. I told folks. Angel of Antietam, they called you." He coughed. "You spared me. Back then. You had mercy." Her voice came quiet, almost like prayer. "Back then, I thought everyone could be saved." His breath hitched. "And now?" She stepped closer. The revolver lowered, not out of pity, but precision. "Now I know better." Gus rolled onto his back. "I was wrong, all right? I was young, I was stupid." Eleanor raised the gun. "I didn't know she was yours," he shouted. The hammer clicked back. "I didn't know." The shot cracked. His head jerked back, eyes wide still. Silence returned to the canyon. Eleanor stood over him, breathing slow. Smoke curled from the barrel. She looked down for a long moment. Not with satisfaction, just quiet. Final. The wind carried dust across his still body. Her veil whipped sideways. A morning shroud against the desert sun. She turned. The mule waited at the ridge. By mid-morning, Townsfolk along the river trail spotted a girl riding in alone, mud-streaked, shaking, silent. She said 4 words to the preacher, who found her. An angel in black. The preacher crossed himself. Back in town, they spoke in whispers. Some claimed Eleanor Raye died in her ranch fire 20 years past, trying to save her daughter. Others swore she rides still, black dress and silver gun, whenever justice goes unanswered. They say the canyon still echoes her footsteps, and when the wind rises just right, you can hear the creak of her saddle and the breath of her mule. The widow don't talk. The widow don't stop. The widow rides.